Hari. Yashodanandana Brachajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brachajana Ranjana Yamunati Ravanachari Yamunati Ravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Jaya Radha Madhava Shirare Jai Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Singhadev Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, how do we read? German or English? Huh? English? English or Spain? Should we speak Spain? Narayani, what do you think? English is okay? Okay. Ist es okay für dich, Sven, wenn du immer übersetzt? Sven, ist es okay für dich, wenn du immer übersetzt? Hast du ein deutsches Caitanya Caritamrita? Okay, then we read from the Sri Chaitanya Caritamrita, Madhya Lila 22, verse 46 till 51. And this is, it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructing Sanatana Goswami. And he uses arguments from now in this section, from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, and then he gives kind of a comment to it. So it goes back and forth in the meter. Which one we have now here? Huh? What is this? This 46 now? This is not 46. It's not 46 what is on the port. Mahakripa? No, also not. I don't know. No. What is it?
Yeah, it's 46. Yeah, it's 46.
46?
Yeah. 22nd capital.
For me, it's a. Oh, I just saw one side of it because it was turned this direction. Okay, sorry. Good. Now we have it. Bhava Bhava Go Brahmato Yada Bhavich Chanasya Tati Achuta Satsamakamaha Satsangamo Yahi Tataiva Satgato. Paravareshe Tvai Chayaterati Bhava Bhava Gapo Pramato Yada Bhavich Chanasyatarhi Achuta Sat Samakama Satsangamo Yahita Daiva Satgato. paravareshe tvai chayate rati. Somebody want to try? Tadaiva satgado Rarvashe rati tvai chayate. Satsangamo yahi tataiva satgado. Ladies? Pava pava go pramadot yada bhavich. Satsangamo yahi tadaiva satgado. Paravaresha tvaiti jayatnarati. Bhava apavaga. Liberation from the nescience of material existence. Pramadaha. Wandering. Yada. When. Bhavet. Should be. Janasya. Of a person. Tarhi. At that time. Achyuta. O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Satsamagama. Association with devotees. Satsangama. Association with devotees. Yahi. When. Tada. At that time. Eva. Only. Satgato. The highest goal of life for the topmost devotees. Pada avara ishe. The Lord of the universe. Tvai. To you. Chayade. Appears. Rati. Attraction. Translation. O my Lord, O infallible Supreme Person, when a person wandering throughout the universe becomes eligible for liberation from material existence, he gets an opportunity to associate with devotees. When he associates with devotees, his attraction for you is awakened. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal of the topmost devotees, and the Lord of the universe. This verse from Srimad-Bhagavatam, 10:51-53. And then Mahaprabhu, he gives a short explanation. Krishna yati kripakare kona bhagyavane guru andayami rupe shikaya apane. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart as the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within. When he is kind to some fortunate conditioned soul, he personally gives him lessons so he can progress in devotional service, instructing the person as the super soul within and the spiritual master without. Now comes again a verse from the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Naivo payanti apachitim kavayaste tavesha pramayushpa shapi kritam rita mutasam smarandaha yunitabahistanu britam ashupam vidunvan acharya chaitya vapusha svagadim vyanaki. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. This is a Srimad-Bhagavatam verse. Again, it was spoken by Uddhava after he had been instructed in yoga by Krishna, says Srila Prabhupada. Sadhu Sangha Krishna Bhakti Shraddha Yadi Hai Bhakti Phala Prema Haya Samsara Haya Krishnai. By associating with a devotee, one awakens his faith in devotional service to Krishna. Because of devotional service, one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, and thus one's material conditioned existence comes to an end. Yatrichaya matkata Yatrichaya matkatatu yata shraddhastu ya pumam na nirvinyo nati sakto bhakti yoga syasitada. Somehow or other, if one is attracted to talks about me and has faith in the instructions I have set forth in the Bhagavad Gita, and if one is neither falsely detached from material things nor very much attracted to material existence, his dormant love for me will be awakened by devotional service. Purport, this is a verse from Srimad-Bhagavatam 11:28, was spoken by Krishna at the time of his departure from this material world. It was spoken to Uddhava. Mahat kripa vina kona karma bhakti nai Krishna bhakti dure rahu samsara nahi krishai kashai. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. There's a purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Pious activities bring about material opulence, but one cannot acquire devotional service by any amount of material pious activities, not by giving charity, opening big hospitals or schools, or working philanthropically. Devotional service can be attained only by the mercy of a pure devotee. Without a pure devotee's mercy, one cannot even escape the bondage of material existence. The word Mahat in this verse means a pure devotee, as Lord Krishna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita. Mahatmanas tu mam vada daivim prakritim ashrita bachanti ananya manaso kyatva putadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. One has to associate with such a Mahatma who has accepted Krishna as the supreme source of the entire creation. Without being a Mahatma, one cannot understand Krishna's absolute position. A Mahatma is rare and transcendental, and he is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Foolish people consider Krishna a human being, and they consider Lord Krishna's pure devotee an ordinary human being also. Whatever one may be, one must take shelter at the lotus feet of a devotee, Mahatma, and treat him as the most exalted well-wisher of all human society. We should take shelter of such a Mahatma and ask for his causeless mercy. Only by his benediction can one be relieved from attachment to the materialistic way of life. When one is thus relieved, he can engage in Lord's transcendental loving service through the mercy of the Mahatma. Om Agnanatim Dasya Knananchana Shalakya Chakshu Midam Yena Tasmai Shigrave Namaha Sri Caitanya Manopistam Stabidam Yena Putale Svayam Rubakadamayam Dadati Swabarantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktabrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So what is the content here of these verses? What is mostly spoken about? Oh, Murari. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita. We also speak about Bhagavad Gita. What else? What Mahaprabhu tried to impress here on Sanatana Goswami? Sadhu Sangha, okay. A little bit more explicit. Kishorikon, do you want to say? Okay, that would be sadhu sangha, yeah. But what kind of sadhu? What does he do?
I remember the last point was that Mahatmas are very rare, and then only Mahatma can understand us.
Yeah, what does the Mahatma give?
Understanding of
Okay, understanding. Murari. Dass man sich zum Beispiel freut, okay. That one is happy. About what? What does the Mahatma give? What can he give? What he carries, what only a Mahatma, a pure devotee carries. He gives us devotional service, yes. He gives us hingebungsvollen Dienst. Because as Srila Prabhupada explained here in this last purport, there's nowhere we can purchase devotional service in the whole universe. Nobody engages us in devotional service. Why? Because everybody tries to engage us in their service, right? Where this comes from? Oh, okay. So we are in such a position that in the material world we are completely devoid of devotional service because our only aim is to be served. It is as it is. Prabhupada says the most pure service one can render is what? What comparison does he give? A mother to a child. Because she doesn't ask the next morning for a paycheck. I changed your diapers this night 3 times, so now you have to pay me something. But even there could be a tinge of the expectation that maybe one day this kid will take care of me. Jai Shishi Palat Lakshmi Singdev Bhagavan Ki Jai. So otherwise we try to, as Prabhupada puts it, we try to lord over the material world. We try to corrupt material nature. Because material nature basically is like a mother. Right? She's like a mother. A mother gives selflessly, as we heard. A mother is has pure intention to give. But we, as children of that mother, we have this tendency to exploit our mother. Right? To see what does she has, what I can use. Murari, what do you think? Things to play, for example. Yes. So we try to get out of her what we want, what do we need. And everybody who's part of that family, we try to also engage somehow or other in our service. And in this way, we become a society of exploiters. And we try to engage everybody in that service to us. This is very unfortunate, but on the other hand, it's what everybody does around us. This is how we are raised. You have to fight for your right to party. All right? So we always try to be on top of the game. We always try to get out. It's a very unstable situation today. Everybody's coming, everybody's going. Yeah, everybody leaves anyway. So we always try to be on top of the game. We try to be the winners of the run on the resources of material nature. Right? We all try to get the most out of her. We milk her the most. But actually, she's an expansion of Lakshmi Devi and belongs to the Lord. She is his companion. She is his companion and she only belongs to him. Right? And as real good children, how we should behave with our mother, Charu or Murari. What we should do with mommy. And what does it mean? We should care about her. And what else do we do when we care about her? Somebody else. We all children. What do you think? We all come from mothers. How we should treat our mothers. Yes, but especially when we grown up. Huh? We should give back. We should serve her. We should see how we can make her happy and how can her treat her as an entity where we have respect for her. Maria, you want to say something? What? Yes, for example, Maria said we should give her flowers. Okay, so this is all something what we can take in consideration. But so we all take service in this world, and the service what we render actually only if it comes together when we get something back. We happily give service to a boss, to a master. But is it selfless? Is it selfless that we give this to the boss? Do we expect something in return? Yes, sure. We only serve him because he fulfills our needs. Right? And so this is the race where we are in. If we come in contact with a devotee, he carries devotional service and he carries the seed of bhakti, meaning he doesn't care for anything back. Love means you don't ask anything back. Right? And therefore, we don't care for the result, what we gain out of it. So when there was an incident where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was waiting for a very special devotee to arrive in Navadvip. And he was calling out, "Father, Father, Pundarik, where is Father gone? Where is he?" One time a devotee came to Navadvip. His name was Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And he was a very special devotee. And nobody cared about him because he looked like Prabhupada always says, a pounds and shilling man. A man of pounds and shilling. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi lived in a house with what quite a rich house. And nobody really understood who he was. There was only one person, Mukunda. He understood that's Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And he is the one Mahaprabhu is waiting for. So he knew there is one person who really would be beneficial of the association of this Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And this was, somebody knows? Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar was a very, he basically came in contact with the devotees very early, more or less. He was in the association of the Vaishnavas. And he always tried to serve the devotees, and he understood that the meaning of life is to be renounced. And in this way, he lived his life very renounced. And Mukunda came to Gadadhar and asked him, "What do you think? You want to go with me to a very special devotee? You have the meeting of a very special devotee. You will benefit from that." And Gadadhar naturally says, "Yes, of course." So Mukunda took him to the house of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi appeared to him. He welcomed him and he asked Mukunda, "Who is this?" And he said, "Well, that's Gadadhar. He is a very special soul. He doesn't know anything else than Mahaprabhu and devotional service. And he, from his very childhood, he is very renounced." And in comparison, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he had a very soft, big couch where he was laying on. He had big lamps beside him with many wicks burning. He had various very costly water vessels around him, and he had servants who fanned him with big long peacock feather fans. His hair was very much oiled and kempt. His body was smeared with fragrant oil, and he had tilak marks of sandalwood and camphor on his face. Very costly person, very luxurious life. And when Gadadhar Pandit saw him, he thought, actually I'm not sure if this is such a great devotee. How can a great devotee live like that? And then Mukunda, he understood the mind of Gadadhar, and he started to chant prayers from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, from the 10th canto, where in this prayers, Putana was glorified. And he said, although this witch Putana came to your house, the house of your mother, of your parents, she disguised herself as a beautiful lady, but actually she was an ugly witch, because she smeared deadly poison on her breast. We had this right in Ananda Krishna spoke about this pastime. She smeared deadly poison on her breast. For what? To kill you. And in this mood of a mother, disguised as a mother, she came to your house. But what was her purpose? Not to nourish you, to kill you. But even her, this little devotional service, this little sentiment that she tried to come in the mood of a mother, saved her. And you accepted this little thing as devotional service. So how glorious are your devotees. When Pundarik Vidyanidhi heard this praise of Bhutana from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, he fell unconscious. Not only that, he started to kick and whack everything what was around him. All the lamps were flying, the water pot were tripping over, his hair was scattered in all directions, and he rolled on the ground, and he became mad and said, how can that be? How can the Lord be so merciful that he even a witch who come to kill him, he accept as his devotee and grant her the position of a martyr? When Gadadhar thought it, he understood the sentiment of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And he understood that this actually is a great Mahatma. Because he got the sentiment in his heart. His heart immediately was touched on a soft spot. We can know so many verses, so many shlokas, so much behavior we may have. But if our heart is still hard, if our heart doesn't become soft, we will be not touched by topics who are concerned about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only a devotee can have this softness in his heart. One day Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, I think they were on the way to Shantipur, they came to a house of a sannyasi, wearing orange robes, and he was sannyasi. But strangely enough, this sannyasi, he lived with his wife, Nandimukhi. He lived with his wife, and he invited, come to my house, I invite you for my house. You are young persons, you are two young gentlemen, come to my house. And then he let him sit down in front of him and said, I'm a sannyasi, I'm going to bless you that you have all material opulence. And Mahaprabhu looked at Nityananda and looked at him and said, what? How is this a blessing? That's a great obstacle, right? How you can say that's a blessing? And then the sannyasi said, now we see how Kali Yuga progress. A young person, like almost a child, coming to me, sannyasi, instructing me. He's instructing me, tell me what to do. What is this? What is this? And he said, but anyway, it is like that. What would you, why you don't have something to eat? My wife just cooked something. And Mahaprabhu and Nityananda looked at each other and said, no, actually fine, we don't want to eat something, because you don't take food from a person who kind of live a dubious lifestyle. And then this sannyasi said, okay, maybe you don't want to eat something, but should I bring some happiness? And Mahaprabhu said, what do you want to bring? He said, I bring some happiness. And Mahaprabhu looked at Nityananda again. And Nityananda, of course, he was a man of world. He came around, right? Before he came to Navadvip, he traveled through all India and he saw many, many things. He knew what's going on. And Mahaprabhu only stayed basically in Navadvip, although he had some travels to Gaya or somewhere. But he didn't have so much experience. So Nityananda understood what's going on. And he leaned over to Mahaprabhu and said, he speaks about he want to bring some liquor, some alcohol. Mahaprabhu said, what? And both of them, they jumped up and run out of the house. And the first thing what they did, with all the clothes, they jumped right in the Ganga. They thought we have to get purified of, being associated in such a house. So on the one hand, we have Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who is a pure devotee, a Mahatma. But apparently from outside, he looks like a pounds and shilling man. And on the other hand, we had a sannyasi who lived with his wife and offered blessings of material benefit, and by the hand serves alcohol. So that's for us a lesson, because to understand the Mahatma, we have to understand who has a soft heart, who has a soft spot when it comes to topics about Krishna. Sometimes we see our seniors, our devotees, when they speak about Krishna or when they speak about Srila Prabhupada and they speak about the mercy, what they received from Srila Prabhupada and what actually Prabhupada came to give to the whole world, they become very emotional. You see this often. You can see this if you watch or see Indradyumna Maharaj live. Very often, he becomes emotional. Now you can see there is a soft spot in their hearts. But if you touch it, if it's touched, then immediately they become emotional. They immediately understand how glorious is this. Same like Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Immediately they losing their coolness, they're losing their composure, they immediately going into emotional state. And in this moment, everybody who witnesses this, even if you see it on video, you've been touched as well. You also feel like how you say it, in German we say ein Kloß im Hals. You feel, huh? No, a frog is like Prabhuji had when he went out. Like this is a frog in the throat. But when you become emotional and your emotions start to raise, then you feel like, you know what I mean? Your throat is clogged up here. You feel this emotion coming, and you're affected by this process of devotion, of emotion, of the emotional devotion coming out. It goes over to you. On the other hand, we see sometimes, even in devotional circles, persons start to, shedding tears. And you don't feel anything. It feels like a cold show. And you don't, it doesn't create anything, because the source of it is not pure love, it's ego. And ego creates, no love, yeah. Ego creates ego. Ego creates ego. You can always witness this if you try to say to teach something to somebody out of ego. No. Vishnu Chanananda standing there, kind of, in front of the Lord. We held in class. He is making pictures. I'm getting disturbed, and therefore I'm telling Vishnu Chanananda, sit down, be quiet, whatever. But this is kind of nasty. Everybody feels like, like Ramananda, what are you doing here? Let him do his, why are you affected by him? It has nothing to do with you. You just been pushed in your ego that you think he's not listening to me, he's photographing the Lord. right? It feels ugly. It feels ugly. But if I would say, Vishnu Chanananda, if you would give attention to the Bhagavatam class of the pastimes of Krishna, give attention to Krishna, try to listen, try to understand. Right, then you don't act necessarily, maybe now because I'm still trying to make a point and using Vishnu Chanananda, whose heart is properly clean. But, then it feels more like, okay, that's out of compassion. Do you get the point? When I act out of ego, it creates ego, because Vishnu Chanananda, not you always think, yeah, come on, Ramananda, you are off. Vishnu Chanananda, what do you think who you are? Not because he is pure, therefore he would not say that. But ego creates ego. If somebody comes to you with the ego and try to instruct you, your first response is, who are you to tell me? But if somebody with a soft heart comes to you to tell you something, to instruct you about something, immediately you feel like touched. If somebody who is humble comes to you, you cannot respond with ego. It's just not possible. You feel this humility and you receive this with humility. And that's a very important lesson for us to understand when we try to communicate in the association of Vaishnavas. If we come with ego, if we present ourselves out of ego, it creates ego. I want to show you off. Even in the most little things sometimes, I want to show off myself. With whatever. How correct I can serve prasadam. Just as a very, very, I'm the best toilet cleaner. Prabhu, did you see the toilet today? How it's shining? Oh yes, I saw. Well, you think, did you clean your heart, or do you just clean the toilet? What to speak of persons who giving a talk, giving a class. Right? You want to show off everything you know. Right? You want to be appreciated for your knowledge, for your understanding of devotional life. But it doesn't touch anything, because it's just speaking from your ego. If it's good, then you speak from your mind, because you learn this and then you can express it. But if you speak from your heart, if you speak how Krishna touches you, then you give something what is valuable. Because in this moment, you're not giving yourself, you're not giving your ego, you try to give Krishna. And this is the difference. This is what the devotee, he can give. He can give Krishna. He can give devotional service. Nowhere else you can purchase devotional service, only by the merchant of the pure devotee, who goes around and distributes this love of Krishna. It's so valuable, you cannot attain it anywhere in the world, only by the devotees. Nowadays you don't have this, but you have this in India. You have it quite often. There comes the, how you call it, the Vechivala, or how do you call it? Vechivala in Mayapur, or when the, Sabchivala, right? Sabchivala comes, right? It comes with the, with all his vegetables, and you can buy vegetables from him. No, like this fruit vendor came to Vrindavan. This lady say, fresh mangoes, papaya. And she came, and Mother Sachi, Yashoda came immediately and said, oh yeah, we would like to purchase some. And she called the servant, said, bring a basket of grain. We're going to trade some grains against this wonderful, juicy mango fruits. Right? Mango fruits, they're so fragrant, they smell already, the aroma is already intoxicating for the senses, right? And then she got a whole big basket of this fresh mango. Krishna saw this and thought, you give crane? He was just a little boy. He was maybe even smaller than Murari. I understood. You give some cranes and you get mango. Cranes are not very tasty. There's no use in cranes. Krishna thought, what you can do with cranes, they are hard, they don't taste anything, it's just cranes. But for this you get mango. That's a good bargain, right? So Krishna, with his little hand, he's running in the house, in the storage room, and getting some of these hot cranes and bringing them out to the fruit vendor. And, of course, he was running, and he has small hands, so only some three cranes left in his hand. And he gave it to the fruit vendor. And, of course, as, she's a mother probably herself, and, women know exactly how to behave, so she didn't say, only 3 cranes. Said, wow, you brought me cranes. That's so nice. Therefore, I give you some mangoes. Come. And she gave him mangoes, and Krishna gave more mangoes. And Krishna hardly could hold it. It's so many mangoes, and this fragrant mangoes. Oh, so wonderful. And he was so happy. He was so happy that the basket where she kept her mangoes inside immediately were filled with jewels and golden ornaments and so much riches. So this was the reciprocation of Krishna, that he got these mangoes for these cranes, So this is the same, when the vendor comes, the sabji wala comes, then we can get sabji, we can get some fruits. Sometimes then in Mayapur, in the brahmachari ashram, there was, I think it was Thursdays, I don't know. Vishnu Chandanan, do you know when the barber came? The barber, I think it was he came on Thursdays or something like that. On a specific day, he came, he sits in the bathroom. Just sit there, Indian man. And everybody know in this time the barber comes to this bhavan or whatever. He's waiting there. And then you can just go and you get your head shaved, right? So this is what's going on still in India. That's Dienstleistung, how you say? That's service society in India. In Germany, they're delivering frozen pizza or frozen fruits or whatever. They come sometimes to the diling. So, but if somebody comes who has devotion, who distributes devotional service, then this is the one we have to go through. Because there's so many sabjivalas outside, there's so many devotees who you can purchase anything, or they shave your head, or sharpen your scissors, or whatever they do. But the devotee who has bhakti in his heart, he's very rare, like Daksh. Daksh came here to inspire us before he's leaving, drop some devotional service here in our community. All right? So therefore, for those devotees, we have to hunger. Those devotees, we have to milk them. We have to get the juice out of their hearts, because their hearts are soft and juicy, like the mangoes, what Krishna purchased. So this is the association we have to look for. This is the association we have to always be aware of and try to get their blessings, get their softness of heart. So that's of course all big topics and big thoughts and things to inspire. I myself, I hope that one day I can perceive the softness of the hearts of the devotees and be able to find the right treatment and humility to get their juice out of their heart. And sometimes maybe with that juice my heart becomes also soft, not hard anymore. So therefore I'm asking all of your blessings that you may give me the opportunity to be in the association of all of you and get a treasure from your heart by instructing me. Not too heavy, because my ego is still quite high. And I cannot take it if you instruct me heavily. But if you find a way to get the treatment in my heart with a very soft spoon, then I may take it. I may be able to take it. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Did somebody polish Srila Prabhupada? Did somebody clean him? He's very shiny, and he became much more cleaner. I mean, I think somebody really went with some. No, I don't know. Maybe it was somebody in the I don't know. Nobody knew. Huh? Yeah, he's cleaner again. Yeah, maybe Srila Prabhupada is just, maybe it's a miracle. Why not? Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, are there any thoughts, questions, reflections, Gopi Gita? Rotten tomatoes to throw?
You spoke about when Lord Chaitanya Nityananda were offered the happy, he ran out of the house. And I suppose it's in the lines of association. How can we apply that also? Like, because generally as devotees we try to be steady and like this, but sometimes we may end up in the wrong association. Not just the alcohol, but whatever, bad words, or whatever it may be. What is the... It sounds quite... Sometimes one wants to just run out.
Well, if you're in the wrong association and you run out of the house and jump with all your clothes in the Ganga or next river, that gives quite an impression, I guess. That would already give some kind of what's going on. Yeah, I mean, of course, the Lord comes to instruct us, and we see these pastimes first of all as instructions to be careful and in this case, yes, it's about association, and it's of course the mercy of a devotee to go in a house like Mahaprabhu Nityananda went to this house of the. I mean, they could already sense that something fishy is going on there, basically speaking. But still, they came there and got in their association. And I think the wife of this so-called sadhu, she was quite impressed by these two young, shiny personalities, and she understood something divine is going on here, and she was embarrassed of the behavior of her husband. So she was saved. She got some appreciation. And that's the main thing. When Srila Prabhupada came and spoke in different universities or wherever, sometimes he was challenged by envious persons, because envy is such a strong emotion, what is so deeply rooted. You know, it's one of the first things we the ego take a grip on when the soul enters in material universe, is envy. right? This is basically what we see. We envy Mother Earth. Therefore, we want to exploit her. We envy her of all her riches. Therefore, we're going to hurt her. We're going to exploit her. So when Srila Prabhupada came in the association, there were some envy people. You know, like when Prabhupada was it in the University of Uppsala, I think, in Sweden somewhere. Is this Sweden? Was it there where Prabhupada spoke about the four varnas? And then one student stood up and said, "So, and what do you think you are? You probably think you're on the highest class, on the first class. You're a first class person." And Prabhu always tells the story that he was sitting right in front of Srila Prabhupada. He was mostly because he says that he was so close to Srila Prabhupada because so many people were in the room that he was almost pushed on the feet of Srila Prabhupada. So he could rightly see that when this question came, a big tear came out of the eye of Srila Prabhupada. He saw under his glasses, because Prabhupada was wearing his glasses, a big tear came out of his eye. And he said, "No, I'm fifth class. I came to serve all of you." So you can see again how Prabhupada was just touched by this comment, you know, and became emotional because he had this sentiment. This was his sentiment, to be the servant of the servant of the servant of each and every one. But amongst all of them, there are so many different other people. Srila Prabhupada touched his life and transformed them. And that was his main concern. So we don't know if we start to estimate our association and calculate our association. We're not seeing in the attitude of service. We're seeing in the attitude of our enjoyment. Because we think this association is not good for me. And then we judge them according to our understanding, to our ability. And we maybe make then assumptions and say, "Oh, I have to leave this association," without maybe giving the association, making an imprint of how we act and how we react. We may, when we come in an association where we feel our devotion is plundered. Hare Krishna. Our devotion is plundered, then we should leave this association. But even then, how we leave, should be exemplary. If we leave the association and say, "How dare you, and you all dirty people," and whatever, so then we give a wrong, then we acting again out of ego, and what we create only ego, because what does he think he is? He thinks he's something better, and we will not leave a lasting impression. It's like if we go in book distribution and start to argue with the people on the street. Are you, your scripture, your Bible, and whatever, and you just dirty. Do you clean your tongue in the morning? I saw devotees saying this, like just to make a point, just to get out of this energy, because book distribution, sometimes you face heavy energy on the street. Who can train your devotion? And some devotees, they just protect their devotion by arguing back or giving strong blows back. Was maybe good for the ego, because finally I let it out. I told him. I let it out on him. But this person will always think, like he is not a nice person. I always have this. I hope maybe in the end to this question, maybe when I was distributing books on Vienna on the street, I was quite young. And Vienna on the street, on the Maria Hilfer Street, where they will have Ratha Yatra. There we go. It's such heavy. It's so deep Maya, you could say. It's only shops, people rushing, everybody is there. Everybody try to get the attention of the people, WWF, this, everybody try to get basically their money. And people are going through this, they don't want to be stopped. They just want to spend their money where they want to spend it. So they want to go to a shop. And they don't care if a young Bhakta is standing on the street, a Hare Krishna with a shaved head and a strange color in his face or whatever, And so people, just like really, like sometimes they, you approach them and they just shut the hand in your face, like really heavy. Really heavy. And in one sense, you could even understand it because they're so bothered with all kinds of stuff, And but as a young devotee, then I thought, I became angry. I became angry, and I started to be mean to the people. Who didn't, whatever, and I started even to yell at them. Because I was so much hurt in my ego. My ego was so much hurt by their ego. So it was ego against ego. And then some kind of punk came or whatever. He had sunglasses on and he looked like dirty. And he came down the road and you could see already like a messed up person. I said something, I forgot what I said to him, but again, it was not something nice. And he walked maybe five steps, he walked past me, and then he turned around, looked very aggressive. He walked in front of me, straight in front of me. He took down his sunglasses, looked directly in my eyes and said, "You're supposed to be friendly!" And turned around and walked away. And I thought, whoa, this ugly punk was Krishna. Giving me the message. Giving me the message, you have to be friendly. Yes, I have to. Even if the people are not friendly to me, it doesn't give me the right to be unfriendly. Of course, material, every psychologist would say, no, you express your anger, whatever, but if it's only done out of ego, one has to be careful. And there may be moments where we really hurt and we feel we should express our anger, and that's maybe true, but even then we should really see where does it come from and does it benefit the situation. Does it make I mean, did it answer your question? Yes? Okay. Yeah, we have to intelligently think, okay, from which perspective do I acting now? Do I act out of service or out of anger? And even one can be angry out of service. We saw in Srila Prabhupada when is in Amsterdam when they made a mess by the opening of this temple and what they had there, and then Prabhupada became angry. And even then, a young Bhakta came and told him what everybody told him, because he had an anger problem, and everybody told him, if you're angry, just chant Hare Krishna. And this Bhakta turned to Prabhupada and said, because Prabhupada was so, the television team was there, and everything possible went wrong. And the devotees were so spaced out, and the television team were there, and we are, filming. And Prabhupada was so angry that they say his lip was shaking, quivering, And then this young devotee, he went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, just chant Hare Krishna. If my lip would shake and Charu would come to me and say, Daddy, just chant Hare Krishna, I basically all hell break loose, right? You know what Prabhupada did? He took his beat back and chanted Hare Krishna. Yeah, this is, this is how you be angry, not from the ego point of view. You be angry out of service. You're not on the ego platform because it doesn't explode. That's Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, you had last thought?
Yeah, when you brought this with Sankirtan and anger on the street, and because in order to get purified, Prabhupada is recommended, or Krishna is recommended to deity worship, because the Sankirtan can be like too heavy club, too much for the ego, too sweet. And you can take it. Therefore, yes, deity worship is like recommended. So maybe you have some reflections on this, because I've been reflecting myself a lot about it lately. As I have never myself been really into deity worship, but I feel like Krishna is pushing me in that direction to become purified.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a big topic. You maybe can open up with Damodar Priya, because she is definitely more sattvic than me. But in my experience, I think the lessons I got on the street on Sankirtan, there was like the roar, like the scratching, the raw scratching, and the lessons what I receive in deity worship is more the fine tuning. It goes more. I mean, you have the last section in Panch Anga Puja is how it's called? We have Sadacha and devotional service and cultivating, reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. Swadhyaya? I think it's Swadhyaya. Yeah, but you have Pancha Anga Puja. You don't have this. Abhigamana. Then I forgot the other ones. Then it's Yoga. Then it's Isha. Okay, yeah. Right, yeah. So cultivating devotional service, this is part of deity worship. Learning how to serve prasadam is actually part of deity worship, because prasadam should be served by the most advanced devotees. What means most advanced devotees? Those who are not envious, see others eat. Who are happy to give prasadam. If we put always the young bhakta there, because what else he can do? Let him serve prasadam. And he's there and thinking, everybody who comes, then you eat. Okay, you want more? Cheese sabji? No. Like, that's not how you should serve. Even in Mayapur, if you go to the gutter kitchen, and they bang bang, they kind of in hastily and harshly they're serving prasadam. It's not conducive to digestion even. What to speak of accepting devotional service. Once we were in Vrindavan of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, behind Radha Raman Mandir. There's a temple of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And the brahmanas there, they invited us. We were a group of German brahmacharis, ogres, and they invited us to eat prasadam. Because they're making kind of a living with that maybe also, but yeah, okay, so we went. And they served us prasadam. It was one of the most transcendental experiences I ever had. Because how they served, it was just from another realm. They could not even, you were not even thinking that you want to have more from this preparation. They sensed it. And before you thought it, they were already in front of you, and then, oh yeah, thank you, and the quietness and the calmness and the really served prasadam. They understood that's prasadam. So let us serve this German gorillas, let's serve them prasadam. So, back to deity worship, this is part of deity worship. So the serve prasadam should be actually done by the pujaris who know how to serve prasadam and how to, inspire the people to honor it and give it as a spiritual value. It's not just food, it's spiritual bliss. And as same as devotional service, prasadam is contagious. Same way, devotional service is contagious. Right? Nobody comes to us and says, you should do devotional service, and then we get inspired, yes, I want to do devotional service. No, it's by their mood, how they do devotional service, that we get inspired and get infected by devotional service. Anyway, it's another. We don't want to go too long, but you're completely right. Yes, it's then on the street we getting kind of the bang bang to get the nonsense out of our head, and when we come to this stage, either we advance on book distribution, meaning we come of a level where we distribute books like this Brahmanas distributing prasadam, because the books is also prasadam. It's also condensed spiritual bliss, right? And when you see how big souls like Vijay Prabhu or they distributing books, it's on another level. It's not mass distribution, but still distributing many books. But you know what I mean. Or you go in other areas and then you get fine-tuned by deity worship, for example. And when you fine-tuned enough in deity worship, then you may enter in realm of management, because you understand the value of the devotees, because they are the most value ingredient in deity worship are the devotees. If you don't see the value of devotee care, then you don't understand the value of deity worship, because the devotees are the most valuable things you can offer to the Lord. You see, therefore Prahlad is right on the lap of the Lord, because he's a devotee. And the Singadev is so pleased that even Lakshmi moves on the side of the other side of his chest, because she understands the value of a devotee. Without a devotee, no Krishna, because only the devotee carries Krishna. If there would be not devotees walking around the earth, nobody would know about God anyway. So in one sense, devotees are more valuable than Krishna himself, in order to bring them to the people. Does it resonate with you? I mean, sorry, I don't want to instruct, because you're much more senior than me. But thank you for this, bringing this point out, bringing this juice out. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Are we ready for breakfast? Narayani, are you hungry? Oh. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. We wish you all a blissful, wonderful day in devotional service. May you be all experience the highest bliss and have a very happily, wonderful association with the devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Puri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.